And, I feel like right now, and this is something that I brought up on Twitter earlier. Number one, it's like, okay, where does he play? Does he play Husky or does he play safety? I think in the early stages, first of all, Alabama has not had what I would view as the ideal Kane Womack Husky since he's gotten to Alabama. They played Devontae Smith there. He's kind of a corner, has played corner, had played safety, 6 foot, 205 pounds, the closest thing from a size standpoint. But Deshaun Jones, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Red Morgan, scrappy, certainly has a Husky heart. There's no doubt.
Sure,
and I think he's going to continue to do well there. Don't get me twisted. But, being 6 foot, 185 pounds, sometimes that size limits, because that Husky, that it's really the same thing as the star or the Husky, Nick Saban or Kane Womack's defense. That becomes a strong side linebacker replacement in a lot of instances. You got to be able to hold up against the run. You got to be physical, come downhill, but also have the ability to cover guys, whether it be in zone or man coverage. It takes kind of not a unicorn because you got to continuously pump those guys out. And I think that right now they like the fact that they get a nickel coverage type of player while also not sacrificing a ton from a physicality standpoint. You sacrifice something a little bit from a size standpoint with a Deshaun Jones or a Red Morgan, but not from a physicality standpoint. So there's a difference. Sometimes that ends up mattering. But like Jireh Edwards, he can be 6'2". He's already 11 pounds or 12 pounds. Big body guy, has the length. He would bring more length than they've had at that position. He would bring more size kind of out the gate. I could totally see him being a 215, 220 pound, 6'2", Husky, being just a complete game wrecker for Alabama. Yeah. And so, you look at like Keon Sabb potentially being back, maybe Bray Hubbard, Zay Mincy, and even if Bray Hubbard moves positions or leaves for the NFL, you'd still have Zay Mincy ready to step up. You'd still have Ivan Taylor, who probably is going to want to, elevate and play as that safety 3, maybe fill in for or overtake that role for Zay Mincy, who would be elevated in that instance. Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. could end up being back. We'll have to wait and see, but I still feel like Jireh Edwards, probably that's not the clearest path to playing time for him. Husky, on the other hand, you lose Deshaun Jones. Red Morgan would be sitting in front of you. Maybe they would want to play Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. there. He's played there before and done pretty well, even though I think the length, he's not overly long. So I like him personally at safety. I think Jireh Edwards can end up being the player who ends up being that second Husky and maybe getting quite a bit of playing time, similar to what Red Morgan did as a freshman last season. So, I mean, I do think he's got a pretty clear path to playing time, and I think just the way he plays, it's going to end up being he's going to be a dude.